Is like watching a slow-motion car crash where you're the car and she's the brick wall. Well, I mean, I just think Jen's lucky, Adam said, ignoring the cynicism. She's not getting one of those meddling mother-in-laws. My mom's really cool. She's her different. Jeff watched Adam jog toward the elevator. Different, in Jeff's vocabulary, usually meant expensive or legally questionable. Later that afternoon, the cool mother arrived. Fay Rhodes was a whirlwind of patchouli, flowing linen, and a complete lack of personal boundaries. When Jennifer Morgan, Adam's fiancée, opened the door, she was expecting a polite handshake. Instead, she was engulfed in a hug that lasted 3 seconds longer than socially acceptable in the Northeast. "Oh, yes, yes, yes," Fay exclaimed, pulling back to hold Jen at arm's length. "Man, I wish I had a camera." "We have a camera," Adam said, beaming. "Yeah, I wish I hadn't broken the camera," Fay retorted with a laugh. Audrey and Jeff wandered in, ostensibly to help with the bed, but mostly to witness the spectacle. Jen, ever the gracious hostess, gestured around the apartment. "Adam told me you were coming, so I did a little redecorating. I wanted it to feel right." Fay looked around, her eyes sweeping over the carefully curated mid-century modern furniture and the neutral palette. "Well, it's not really an apartment," she said softly. Jen's smile faltered. "It isn't." "No," Fay said, stepping forward to touch Jen's cheek. "What you've created here is a home. And Adam has never looked happier or healthier. That's all you." Jen melted. This was the dream. The cool mother-in-law who approved. The girls' stuff shopping trips were practically booking themselves in Jen's mind. Meanwhile, Jeff was distracted. He had noticed something catastrophic. He walked over to the television and pressed the power button. Nothing. He pressed it again. "The TV's not working," Jeff announced, his voice dropping to a funereal register. He turned to Audrey. "Did you touch the remote?" "Not since I saw you scratching yourself with it," Audrey snapped back. "Check the bedroom TV," Jeff ordered. He followed her, his heart hammering against his ribs. The bedroom TV was equally silent, a black mirror reflecting his growing despair. "Technical difficulties," Jeff muttered. "What is this? The 1960s? How hard can it be to keep a satellite in geosynchronous orbit with the Earth to receive and send images to a dish outside of our window? I mean, that's basic science." Audrey crossed her arms. "There are plenty of other things we can do besides watch TV." "Jeff, maybe plenty was a reach," Jeff whispered, staring at the blank screen. "This is like an episode of The Twilight Zone. A show I wish I could watch right now." Chapter 2. The Human Coupon. The weekend was supposed to be a romantic getaway. At least, that's how Jeff had sold it to Audrey. He had presented her with a brochure for a luxurious spa resort, fine dining, massages, pillow-top beds. "Booyah," Jeff said, slapping the brochure onto the kitchen table. Jeff with the total power move. "You, me, this weekend." Audrey looked at the glossy photos of infinity pools. Wow, this place looks nice. Why are you doing this? Did you break something? I'm thanking you, Audrey, for being you, for putting up with me, for 13 years of, stuff. Audrey flipped the pages. Why is the last page ripped out? I must have drooled on it. Jeff lied quickly. The picture of the jazz brunch was just too much for my salivary glands. Jeff, Audrey said, her eyes narrowing. I don't want another surprise. Like when that bed and breakfast turned out to be your buddy's grandmother's house, and she was still in the guest room. And then she died. I said she wasn't supposed to be there. And I still had to good days of fishing, Jeff defended. Look, this time, all we have to do is sit through a tiny, microscopic timeshare sales presentation. Audrey sighed. I knew it. You're a rube. No, I'm an optimizer. And look, if we bring another couple, our weekend is free, totally free, which was how Adam and Jen found themselves packed into a car, heading toward the mountains. Jen was excited it was their first couple's vacation since getting engaged. Adam was excited because he got to hang out with Jeff, whom he viewed as a surrogate older brother, despite Jeff's constant attempts to treat him like a footstool. The tension began at the spa. Jen, feeling liberated by the mountain air and the new age influence of Faye's recent visit, decided to embrace a more natural approach. When Audrey entered the hot tub, she found Jen already there completely naked. Audrey froze, her robe clutched tight. Oh, you're really in there. The water is perfect, Audrey. Come on in, Jen said, her arms draped over the edge. Audrey did not come in. In fact, she stayed in her robe, hovering on the edge of the tub like a Victorian governess. The friendship felt suddenly very crowded. While the women were navigating the etiquette of public nudity, Jeff was engaged in his favorite pastime, the stare down. He had coached Adam on how to handle the timeshare salesman. Don't say a word, Jeff whispered as they sat in the sales office. Just let my stare do the talking. I call it the dessert hawk. It says, I have no soul and even less money. The salesman, a man named Bob who had the permanent tan and desperate eyes of a man who sold dreams to people who couldn't afford them, walked in. Mr. Bingham, so glad you took advantage of our special offer, Bob chirped. Since you brought another couple, your weekend is completely free. Adam's head whipped around. Wait, what? Free? Jeff closed his eyes, his dessert hawk crumbling into a guilty pigeon. Jeff? Jen asked, walking in with Audrey. Did you invite us here just to get a discount? Discount is such a negative word, Jeff said. I prefer to think of you as human coupons. We're sharing. We're making memories. Memories are the building blocks of life. The fallout was immediate. Adam felt betrayed. Jen felt used. Audrey felt the familiar sting of being married to a man who would sell his own kidney if it came with a buy one, get one voucher. I'm afraid Bob added, sensing the blood in the water, that if none of you attend the full 90-minute presentation, you'll be charged the full price for both rooms. That's $1,200. Jeff's face went pale. $1,200.